Hello everybody, so today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Studio Series number 100, Rise of the Beast Bumblebee. I want to give this style of content a try because, well, I've never done it before. So before we take a look at the main event here, I want to look at the boxes. The line this guy comes from, the Studio Series toy line, has some really interesting boxes. So at the top here you just have some brand stuff. You have a nice CGI render of Bumblebee from the movie, which is super nice looking, big Transformers text. And then you get the name, the toy line Studio Series. The fact that this is the 100th figure on the side. You have this really nice thing that's like, oh, this is figure 100, Studio Series, Bumblebee at the bottom. Shows you what size class he is. This was a deluxe class figure, meaning he's about $20 to $25, depending on where you buy him from. Backside here, it's got some generic information like, oh, this is based off his appearance in the movie, the character name, the alt mode. Shows you the backdrop that's included. Ooh. If I can get that to focus. There we go. And on the side here, we have another really nice render Bumblebee with an Autobot logo. And then it just tells you, hey, this is plastic-free packaging. So yeah, that just about covers it for the box. So, taking a look back at Bumblebee here. He is super faithful to his appearance in Rise of the Beast. And I really like it. I really like the look of the figure. And he's got some great articulation, but before we get into that, his accessories. So you get two main accessories here. The first step is the Stinger Blaster, which is really nicely detailed here. To my knowledge, this is molded yellow and then painted in gray, but I haven't had any issues with the paint chipping off of this thing, so it's either super durable, or this is weirdly enough a dual molded piece, which would be strange. And then you have the arm blade here, which to my knowledge is actually a brand new mold created for this. Previous arm blades for Bumblebee have had like a double pointed tip. This is much more of like a slanted edge. So yeah, that being said, the arm blade can attach to either arm. There are two little tabs here, two little slots on the arm, and you can just tab that in, and now Bumblebee has an arm blade. And this also works on the other side of the figure too, plugging into the same two ports on the figure. Now the Stinger Blaster, on the other hand, only works on the right arm. It's specifically molded so it only fits into the hand. You're just going to take this peg and shove it into that hole on the figure. And it can be a tight fit, but it looks incredibly good once it's on there. Now the weird thing is that they give you these two accessories, but he never uses the arm blade in Rise of the Beast. He uses two cannons, so it's kind of strange that you only get one cannon, but oh well. Not much we can do about it. So that being said, what kind of poses can you get this guy into? Well, starting at the head, it is on a ball joint with a super wide range that I was not expecting. The shoulders are also ball joints that can basically pull just about any movement you want other than backwards. It's going to be super limited just due to the fact that, well, he's got his door wings and the tire back here, so it's kind of limited, but hey, that's great. The biceps also have swivels in them, so you can turn them however you want. This, for both arms. He's got elbows, and that's basically it for the arms. There are no wrists, but I'm fine with that. It's not that major of a deal. His headlights can move if that's something you want. It can add more expressiveness, making him look kind of sad. Coming down to the legs, he's got ball jointed hips with swivels in them, so they can pull a wide array of things, including kicking up that far. Can't go back due to the backpack of the figure, but And he's got knees that pull about average, and ankles, which are really unlimited, depending on they're unlimited both directions, and the feet swivel. So yeah, that's about it for articulation. Ooh. And sometimes if you're not careful with the way you have him standing, he will fall, but that's not a fault of the figure, that's a fault of not knowing how to pose it. For a size comparison, I thought I'd bring in the first Steel Series figure. But technically this isn't the first, this is Steel Series 27, but it's the same mold. And you can really see how far we've come a long way between designs, articulation, and all this other things. I may make a video on this one day because I have a lot to say about this. But with that being said, transformation is really fun on this guy and really easy. The first thing I like to do is just get him in a T-pose and move the headlights down. Then come to the legs here, and these little panels will open up, revealing a cavity where you can then move the foot into using a double hinge. On the back of the foot here, there's this little bumper piece. You're just going to want to turn that 90, and then all this will come together. There is a tiny tab that you want to make sure... Ooh, nope, wrong way. I can't get to focus. There is a tiny little tab here that you're just going to make sure slots into place. And you can do the second verse same as the first one. And now his legs are all transformed up, and you're just going to bring them together with the two tabs up here and the two tabs across the back bumper. And now his legs are ready to go. So next up, you come to the back of the figure, and you just simply pull out the windshield and the roof of the car. Then you come to the chest, and this is one of the hardest parts to do, I found, was getting this untabbed. What I like to do is I like to push down on this gray bit on the inside of the chest here, and then pull up on the yellow part. So do like that number, and it should come untabbed. And then you can just rotate all that up. Now, I like to bring the doors in. They have these little tabs across the inside of the door. Oop. Here, which I forgot to mention, you can attach the weapons onto. The cannon goes onto the right door here, and the sword goes onto the left door. I just forgot to mention that while we were in robot mode, so I'm mentioning it now. But anyways, so those little tabs also double as the locking tabs for car mode. So you're just going to take the tab and put it into this little slot right here, and that closes up your two doors. Pulling the camera back out for a second. This is probably my favorite part of the transformation, is sliding the roof down. You're going to slide it over all of this, and you're going to want to make sure you tab it in at the top. Make sure the headlights are properly adjusted in the front. And for the final steps of the transformation, you're going to want to pull the shoulders down. They just simply like unlock here. You can bring in the front wheel, and then on the underside of the car, you're going to turn it on that ball joint, and you're just going to push it down. There are little tabs that you can see right here. This is the only part of the figure I've had trouble with paint coming off of. Having trouble getting it to focus on that tiny tab. So we're just going to pull out and readjust focus here. And it will plug into a little slot right there. And boom! He is now all into his car mode. For a size comparison, I have my Strong Arm from Legacy Evolution, and as you can see, it's a decent enough scale. And I'm not going to transform him, but this one ends up being roughly the size of this, which is really cool. And this is based off the off-road Camaro design that Bumblebee gets towards the end of Rise of the Beast. And it's a super cool version of a Camaro that I love a lot, even though I think it's kind of strange. For weapon storage, the arm blade can come under here. There is a little slot. Let me see if I can zoom in and focus. Yep, there we go. There is a little slot, and there's a tab on the top of the arm blade right there. And you're just simply gonna put slot into tab, and the arm blade is now stored under the alt mode of your car, under the side of the car, and it will not come out. Like, it's really in there. On the back bumper, there is a tiny little slot that this will peg into, and you just kind of push it on, and that's your arm cannon stored on the back of the car. So yeah, all in all, I really like this figure. It's really, really fun, and he's a great figure for the price. He's one of the best deluxe class Transformers I've had the privilege of touching. Like, he is so great. And while we're still on the subject of greatness, he does come with a backdrop, because that's the whole Studio Series thing, is you're meant to recreate scenes from the movie. And the backdrop here is the big volcano showdown from the end of Rise of the Beast. So, yeah. You can place the figure in robot mode or car mode. I'm not crazy about these. I only keep them around just because I think they're nice novelties. On the side here, you get a red text with the figure's number and the Studio Series label. On the other side, you just get Transformers with the Autobot logo, which, yes, that Autobot logo you saw on the side, of the box, was the Autobot logo of the backdrop, which is really cool. And one nice thing is that it does tell you what film this is from. If I can get it to focus. It says Rise of the Beast right there. So, yeah. Pulling this back down. I am really in love with this figure, and I highly recommend it. If you liked Rise of the Beast like I did. I really enjoyed the film. And one other thing to note before I close it out was that there is actually a running change with this figure. I happen to get the updated version, but I know some people still find the old version out in the wild. And you may be wondering, well, what's the difference between the two? And the answer is simple. The original figure has less paint on the base. There is a lot less silver around the eye area. Yeah, whereas on my version here, which I'm having trouble getting the camera to focus again, has a lot more silver on it, and the cannon just popped off the back. So yeah, I'd recommend trying to track down the more painted version, but if you can't, the less painted version is still a great figure nevertheless. So with that being said, thank you all for watching, and I will see you on whatever my next video just so happens to be.